Switch to me! Hello and welcome to Royal Oak Comics Party, episode 7. Today our guest is Nik Burridge from death surf rock band The Filter, master luthier of Rocketone guitars, and has a brand new shoegaze band project that is as yet unnamed, and we will get to the bottom of that as the evening progresses.
Is it called Luthier Vandross?
No.
Oh my gosh, it should be.
It is
Cool.
not.
Thanks for being here, Nick.
Thank you guys for having me.
So, so the name of your company is Rocketone Guitars, right?
It is,
You want
yes.
to tell us a little bit about how you got started making guitars?
Well, I always like to, fuck my guitars up. And then I decided that actually building them from scratch was the next step. Went to school for it in St. Louis for a while. And
That's
then,
cool.
Yeah.
Where do you go to school? Are you in like a giant hall with thousands of people making guitars at the same time?
It was a really small school. It was like in an old warehouse, and he had basically turned half of it into like a classroom with a bunch of workbenches. And there was only like 3 people total in the class when I was there.
Do you make, like, when you go to that school, do you make, like, acoustic guitars and electric guitars, or you pick what you want to do, or?
You basically decide what you want to accomplish, and the guy who's teaching the class actually owns and runs a guitar company, and he knows how to build everything, so he kind of guides you along the way. But
That's cool.
yeah, I just did electric guitars.
That's cool.
I think the true beginning of, I feel like the very beginning of Rocketone and building guitars goes all the way back to when you had a screwdriver and were taking G.I. Joes apart and we're putting like Roadblock's legs on Duke's torso with a Snake Eyes head.
Yeah. I could never leave anything the way that it came.
Right.
You just can't get that Snake Eyes sound any other way.
Yeah.
But like customization has been, I feel like, a theme for a lot of things in your life.
Yeah, I think
for
so.
all the way, as far as I can remember. And Nick and I have been brothers all our lives. And so I know. I've
Not
seen
all
the
of your
before
life.
time. Not all of my life. All of your
Seen
life,
the
though.
before pictures.
How happy I am in the before pictures.
I never knew it any other way.
So when you're making guitars now, like, what do you do? Do people call you up and they say, I want a guitar with 6 knobs, and I want the neck to be really long, and I need 7 knobs on the end?
Yes.
How does it go?
I think I've gotten emails that were exactly that. No, it's people just, people that don't build stuff for themselves email me, and it has been as simple as something I already really have lying around, and as complicated as something that takes me a year to build from everything from scratch. And I don't know, just emails, and I'm on a bunch of forums online and stuff.
Where do you get? How do you find out where to get all the parts and stuff? Is it like this? You can't just go to Radio Shack and buy everything,
No.
right?
When I was at school, the teacher showed me a bunch of places to get supplies, and there are a couple of people on one of the forums that I'm on that have been really helpful, and basically sent me links to like every single thing. And like before I was getting discounts on like my own, they would order me stuff so I could get like fat discounts and be able to charge customers less.
It's cool.
That's called a thing where you have the, what is it called, the tax ID number, and you get the like real distributor. You get the dealer
yeah,
price
yeah.
instead of the
Yeah.
Right, the chump price.
right.
Yeah.
That's cool. So we had a few pictures of guitars that you've made before.
Yes.
There's one now.
Yes.
What is this one called?
That one is called the Proton, and it is kind of loosely based on a guitar called a Swept Wing. Kind of resembles like the Batman logo, I guess.
Okay.
A little bit. And I don't know. That one's just super simple. nothing really special about that.
On an electric guitar, does the shape of the body affect the sound as much as it does on like an acoustic guitar, or does it affect it at all?
I don't think the perimeter, like the outline of the shape, really matters that much.
Yeah.
It's the how like underneath the pickguard, the plastic piece on top, how much that's routed out, how deep the guitar is, how
like the density of what lies behind the electronics almost.
Yeah.
the type of wood. But with electric guitars, I tend to try to make them pretty like tonally neutral. I want the electronics to make all the sounds. I don't really want a lot of woody sounds, but that black one that was just up and this blue one that is here is they're both different versions of.
Does it make is it more of a woody sound if there's like hollow areas in the body or something like that, or?
Yeah, like if the more empty space there is in the body, I guess I feel like that, in my opinion, that makes it sound more like a natural sound. Like like the big like hollow body guitars, those sound like super woody to me. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. What that is.
The picture of testing the camera while taking
this is
the guitar
how
pictures.
you get into your house.
Right.
Yes. We just got an alarm system. If the window gets open, the alarm goes off. No, but those last two guitars were my own original designs.
Cool.
Those were the ones I wanted to say. Those were Nebulas.
So what's different about those type of guitars than one you would just buy off the shelf or something like that?
I don't know. I mean, the ones that I brought pictures of are pretty much just super basic and simple. You could probably get something pretty similar, maybe not aesthetically, but tonally and playability-wise. But I think the main draw of custom guitars is that, if you want something totally crazy, it's available. I don't know.
I think your designs are pretty unique compared to, like a Jazzmaster looks cool, but I think you have a similarness maybe to that type of body shape, but your designs are a little more far out. And some of the versions, like the one that was green and had the wood grain pickguard, and it looked like an old
like a station wagon?
Yeah, the station wagon one. I thought that one was to die for. I think that one was the sweetest.
Thank you.
Super cool.
Yeah. Trying not to do too many copies of guitars. Everyone I know that builds guitars, like their bread and butter seems to just be copies.
Do you ever want to do like a really horrible copy of a guitar, like where it's intentionally like a little goofy?
I have, and I thought it would be fun and kind of zany, and it ended up just being something I never looked at or played or anything.
The Rocket Tone Telecaster.
Yes, essentially.
I was looking at a thing where your kids can make a drawing and you send it out, and the person looks at the drawing and makes a stuffed animal based on your child's insane drawing.
Oh,
I think that might be a good jump-off point for a guitar.
Yeah, that would be cool for 3D printers. Like if you made like a 3D image on your computer that could just be like totally insane, but it could have like the middle specs would line up so you could actually make it into a playable instrument. But
that'd be cool,
and it would be easier than crafting it with your hands.
Have you done any 3D printing stuff before?
No, it's so freaking expensive.
Yeah.
And I did some, what would you call it? Like pricing, I guess, for like guitar parts, and they're like $1 million, and everything weighs so much. Like a big guitar
like
body made of like
what
solid
is it, like resin or something like that?
It would probably be like one of those like West Tone guitars that you had.
Right. Oh, which was like the compressed something weird. Your best bet might be to write the programs that it's like the CNC machine that goes from every direction, and like as you put the wood in the box and then it just moves it and carves it perfectly.
Do they have those?
Yeah, I think there's one at i3.
I've only ever seen the CNC machine that's just like a computer.
It's probably called a
router.
different thing. But I know that it's a special one that does a lot of stuff. Or maybe you'd have to like carve out the top, then turn it, and then like get it to do the side thing. I don't know.
So you basically just put it in there, and then you have to carve the whole thing yourself anyway.
Yeah.
But I think there's so much more fantasy when you think of how Rocketone guitars are made, where, I've seen you definitely with router in hand covered from head to toe with sawdust. Like, you can't even tell what color your shirt is because it's just blasted with a fine powder of wood from literally carving it by hand. Or with a router that's electronically assisted, but it's handmade, handcrafted. And I think that's neat in an era of where every product is basically just created on a computer to be sent to another computer. Like, it's cool to think, especially somebody who's young, or a young person is making.
Are you young?
Younger than you guys.
Oh!
Well, thank you very much. Well, if you were worried about the price of the 3D printer, you could just buy one, and then you could print another 3D printer, and then you could sell one of them, and you could make your money back.
Have people 3D printed a 3D printer yet?
I don't know.
I thought there was one that came out, and the Boing Boing article was like, this is the one that can print itself. Like, the other ones couldn't have printed itself in its entirety, but this is the one that could.
Seems like a bad idea.
And it didn't even look like, like the MakerBot is very just a cube that sits on a table, but this one was like, it was like low and long, and it like moved, it like just kind of limped on these PVC pipe tracks.
It looks like one of those sculptures that like walks on the beach, like.
Right. It didn't look good, but it was, I don't know. But because it was so wonkily shaped, it could print itself. Because it needed to print those long legs.
Perverse. Is that all it can print?
It's a living. Each one is more distorted and deformed than the next.
But more efficient.
Yeah.
When you were talking about that thing where you can send in the drawings and have them made into stuffed animals, I was thinking you should take your like biomorphic terror illustrations and send those in and have them made into stuffed animals.
I wonder if the price is like the price you don't know. You can't know the price until it's done.
I like that business model.
Yeah. Where those would be very expensive because they'd have a lot of bits to
organs.
Yeah, a lot of organs to be made in those.
Well, so you're also in many bands. Actually, you play guitar in the theme song of the show.
Yeah, I did.
What was who did what in that? Because you did some.
Nick did almost everything. I only put a
everything?
drum machine on that.
Oh.
No.
The theme song to this song, or the theme song to this show, is an alternate mix to a song Nick and I are working on that is based on Screamin' Lord Such's Dracula's Daughter.
Okay.
So it's, so copyright barons, come give the show a lawsuit. But yeah, Nick played guitar and bass, and I programmed the drums, pretty much, right?
And you did you assembled the entire thing.
Oh, and I assembled it.
Yes.
From a kit.
From parts?
Yeah.
From parts.
Yeah.
Do you have other songs that are available as kits?
No, not really, I don't think. Well, I think Mike is the only one I ever give kits to.
Yeah. Well, I can't play guitar, and you and I you're basically one of my only friends. I don't know. You guys, I'm on the show with my only friends. But we hang out a lot, and you are good at guitar, so any tracks that I have guitar on, it's basically you playing guitar on.
Well, I'm sorry for that.
So, okay. Well,
I'm proud for that.
you play lots and lots of music all the
Yeah.
time. You never stop. You don't
Yeah.
eat. You don't sleep. You're very unhealthy.
I'm very unhealthy.
But if you couldn't do music anymore, and this is a question that was mailed in to us from Natasha Bestie. She wanted to know if you couldn't do music anymore, you couldn't play music, you weren't allowed to make guitars, you contracted some horrible disease that made it so that you couldn't do those things, what would you want to do?
I think that is nearly impossible to answer because the only real, I don't know if you'd call it like a passion or a hobby or what are all based on music. I don't know. I used to paint a lot. Maybe I would start painting again.
You're not allowed to paint on guitars.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably just kill myself.
Okay. Well, that means you're doing the right thing then.
That was going to be my follow-up statement.
Right.
I would have killed myself years ago.
Yeah, right. And again, we turn to the topic of suicide.
That's the last episode of this show is going to be like a modified graphic. It's going to say Royal Oak Suicide Party, and we're all going to blow our brains out on live TV.
We're gonna build this logo out of metal and
Right.
just throw it at ourselves.
It'll be like the end of what's it called where you stuff an animal with sawdust?
Turducken.
There was a great movie where it was just little vignettes.
Taxidermy.
Yeah, was it called Taxidermia? Was the name of this movie? Oh, you haven't
know.
seen? I'll
No.
get you a copy of that.
Okay.
But the very last scene, spoiler alert, is this guy builds this contraption, and he's stuffing himself. He's cutting his own organs out, and he's in this metal contraption, and he's putting the stuff in him to preserve his body, and then he like flips the switch, and a big sword just goes whoop, and his head flies off. And look, the last scene is he taxidermies himself and cuts his own head off, and his arm.
I can do this next week.
I'm glad we finally.
Is
have
this a
schedule.
documentary?
Yes.
No,
Oh.
it's a movie. I don't even know
Is it
who
Japanese?
made it. It's like it might be like German or something.
Oh, okay. I feel like I can imagine a Japanese movie where that happens.
No, that's the thing. It's not like that. It's not like super over the top. Like if it was a Japanese one, blood would squirt everywhere, and it would be like. This is so like they play it so straight, and like it's not a gross decapitation scene. It just goes dunk, and his head goes woo woo, woo, and like that's it.
With that sound effect.
One step away from that sound effect.
Like a Three Stooges sound.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But you got water in the gas tank.
Oh, yeah.
I heard.
What?
Kim's car got, I don't know if it was bad gas or
Subterfuge
condensation or something. I don't know. The whole car is just like screwed up, and like it's an automatic, but when it changes gears, it like shudders and like shakes you like a drink
Does it
shaker.
still have water inside of it, or you don't? How do you
We're trying
tell?
to run the gas out. I don't know. I don't know.
Ew. Did somebody put icicles in there? An evil snowman?
I don't know. I don't really know anything about anything. I just know that it's driving terribly.
Was that just a wild guess?
Yes.
Okay.
I can imagine.
Is there like a WebMD for cars that you can go on and like guess what's wrong with it?
I don't know.
Car MD?
Car MD.
I could imagine like the guy whose job is to drive the tanker truck to the gas stations and like put the big pipe in the ground and shoot the gas into the underground well of the gas station. It's like just pouring rain. I hate my job. I wish I was dead. And he's pouring the gas in, and like rainwater is just
Gallon of
funneling down.
milk.
Yeah,
Ugh.
What would
Emptying all the
he do if he
pee-pee
couldn't
jugs.
fill up gas trucks anymore?
right. If you couldn't drive the gas truck anymore. Maybe that's one where if he actually lived that life where he couldn't be a gas driving man anymore, he would self-actualize and become the thing that he always wanted to. Where that would be a good thing if he couldn't drive the gas truck anymore.
Maybe.
He would
This is
just
Isn't
an
that
interesting
true for
driving the
most
gas
people's
truck.
jobs?
I don't know. I love my job.
I love my job. I just got a new job. I'm working at a guitar shop now.
Which one?
Music Around in Troy.
Cool. That's nearby, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It's like right by Oakland Mall.
Do you you like lean over the counter and be like, look, all these guitars in here, they're okay. But if you want a real guitar, go see me.
I don't use it as like a front to get business.
Why not?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's so cool though. You did hit Job Lotto though.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't even Job Lotto because you worked hard to get
Yeah.
it.
Going in there like at least once a week, every week for like years, Every single time I go in there, bug them about a job.
Wearing the outfit of the employees and going behind the counter, talking, grabbing the phone, talking to people.
No,
They would tell you to leave. Finally, they hired you.
Yeah. One time before I did get hired there, though, the owner was like, "You gotta watch the desk. I gotta go to the bathroom." And I had my taste, and then I was like really on his case about it. But I'm happy. I'm happy.
But it's also fair because we've spent thousands and thousands of dollars there over the last years.
Well, if that's how it works, then you and I should have been hired by Leo's a long time ago.
I know. Oh, and now that Jimmy doesn't own that Leo's anymore,
He
I
doesn't?
heard. Now maybe I can get a job there.
Does he own the Lake Orion one?
He owns the one by your house still, is what I heard.
That's what I thought.
But I don't. I haven't been to that Lake Orion one since I was doing the carpet cleaning and cleaned his carpets at the Lake Orion one.
I don't go there that much because it's right by my house where I have lots of my own eggs.
Right. I wish I would have brought my fluids in to here to drink.
Oh, mine are too full. I can't get them. Do you have any fluids?
I don't.
Come on.
Not that I can share with you guys.
Don't hold out. Not on TV.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're at on time right now. I think we're getting close to the end, though.
Okay.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to did we even talk about any of your bands?
No.
Oh, my God.
Did you want to?
The
Just
filter.
just
Yeah.
For a
Well,
little
I
bit.
play guitar and sing in a band called The Filter. That's with a PH. Filter with a PH is a love potion. People always make fun of us for that, but
for being a love potion?
no.
Do people
for
even know
the
that?
spelling, because everyone's like,
Hey man, nice shot, they tell you. Wasn't that the song by the band Filter?
that was yeah. I guess I was told that. I never knew who there were. I knew that there was an old band called Filter, but I never knew what their songs were.
I don't know.
And I remember liking that song as a kid.
But your band is a cool surf rock band.
Yeah, noisy surf rock, a little new wavy, a little shoegazy.
Drum machines, noise
Drum
guitars.
machines, yep. I'm trying to start a shoegaze project, like a straight up shoegaze project. And I had such a great name. I was going to call it Caveat. And
And the logo was really good.
yeah, I had like the best font ever. And then I was on this metal, like the music type metal, but the some metal forum, and they were like, this band called Caveat is now this like famous like popular metal band.
And it crushed your dreams
And
forever.
I almost cried because I was so proud of the name and the logo I had made. So now I have no name.
That doesn't really seem like a metal band name.
I don't
You
know.
could
It's
still
probably
oust
like in
them.
like some like blood dripping pointy font.
Right, if you make the like big metal font and
Are you?
you say, next up, Caveat! Like then it seems metal, but like, my new shoegaze band is gonna be called Caveat. Like it's
Are you
played
sure
both
the
ways.
metal band wasn't called Cave Eat?
I'm pretty sure.
My gosh.
That would
My
look
new
better in
caveman
blood.
rock band is gonna be called Cave Eat.
Cave Eat. All right, I think we gotta wrap up.
We do? Okay, thank you for joining us on this episode of Royal Oak Comics Party. Thank you to Nick for being our guest, and we will see you next week.